record. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Live with John Cogley. Except that today John is in another function, but we're always ready. We have your brand ambassadors family here, and today again we're going to be led by the beautiful caller all the way from not color. My mind's thinking of colors. Beautiful couple from Italy. So we have Gio and Letty. And of course, the rest, we have a few more in the room who will be helping us as well. So without much ado, let's welcome Gio and Letty. And Gio, you may, take it away.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night. In the world family of the color. And tonight the section is talk the color the violet. The violet in the brochure in the color of Daniel Smith is very beautiful color. This is my swatch. Is comprehend the Mayan violet, Bordeaux is similar violet, permanent violet, queen violet, Cerulean violet, cobalt violet is very beautiful. Cobalt violet deep, wisteria, ultramarine red, rose ultramarine, imperial purple, queen purple, purpurite, ultramarine violet, amethyst carbazole, cobalt blue violet, moon glow, sugilite, shadow violet, and lunar violet. This is the official violet of Daniel Smith. But today I recreated the violet shade with blue and red. This is my swatch of blue, and it is my swatch of red. It's very important to create the mix for create another color. And this, my selection for today is a simple swatch. I created this shade of violet, this beautiful shade. Is a selection perfect for create a violet blue and violet red. When I started the swatch, I swatched 3 times a color with one of the mix altogether 50 and 50, and one swatch with the predominance of blue and one swatch of predominance of red for create a various shade of violet. Let's go starting. Okay. My selection, I started with a pen. Okay. And I use half pen and sticks.
These are squeezed directly from the tube.
This is.
Otherwise, you can play with the sticks, for example.
While you're pulling those out, Gio, are all of the violets granulating?
No, all violets. For example, one of the perfect is I use the selection from sugilite and rhodonite. It's perfect granulation from Primatek. It's very beautiful and interesting. My selection is this. The first is ultramarine blue and quinacridone red, French ultramarine and anthraquinoid red, cobalt blue and alizarin crimson, sodalite and rhodonite, this one Primatek. King Royal's blue is very interesting blue and carmine, Verditer blue and queen coral is one of my red in my set, stick set. Cerulean blue, pyrrol red, Mayan dark and blue and queen pink, one of the most famous pink. Prussian blue, permanent red deep, and the last thalo blue red shade, very important red shade, and rose madder. I'm starting the first. Okay. Okay, the first swatch is wet on wet. The first line. And create the mix with ultramarine blue. It is important that the sequence. Now I'm starting with the blue, and the second, the red. And create this violet. Very interesting. The second line is dry, starting with ultramarine blue. And a little part of queen red. Who created this shade, beautiful shade, predominance of blue. The last line, I starting with red. A little point of ultramarine blue. And create this predominance of red. The center is a violet shade. It's very, very beautiful. And apply the spray bottle. For this shade. It's very interesting. Okay, the second is French ultramarine and anthraquinoid red. First line wet on wet. Now, for example, I changed the sequence. I started with red base. And apply the French ultramarine. For mixing half and half. The difference, I remember the difference, ultramarine blue and French ultramarine is the particle is smaller and big, but it's the same pigment.
Rose of ultramarine has PB29, which is also in French ultramarine.
Yep.
And also, Rose of ultramarine has PV19, which is the quinacridone red.
Absolutely.
You know, I want to thank you for showing us this way of mixing the color on the paper, because I always mixed it in the palette and then I could never come up with the color I wanted. And it's amazing to me how you can mix the same color on the paper, but in a different order and come up with a completely different color. I just think it's beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you too. You're welcome. There's many, many possibilities for create the shade. Okay, and apply the spray. And this,
But I guess while doing the painting, you need to mix the color and the palette itself only. Otherwise,
this is the difference, for example, with ultramarine blue and French ultramarine is a different red, okay, but the difference of blue for creating the shade, a cool violet and little warm violet. Okay. The third selection is cobalt blue and alizarin crimson, one of my favorite selection. I'm starting in this case with cobalt blue half and half alizarin crimson. And connecting after. In this case, when I apply these techniques, it's most important the rotation, the direction of rotation, but take more blue or take more red and create the violet shade if you want. If you like, sorry. They're starting with predominance of blue.
This looks a lot lighter than cobalt violet.
Yeah.
Deep. Cobalt violet is a really warm color, but cobalt violet deep is so much like darker. So this mixture is a lot lighter.
Like this. This beautiful shade. Okay. Another is, this is interesting because it's a primatek selection. It's sodalite and rhodonite. And I use the first line, wet on wet. In this case, for example, apply the rhodonite.
Giovanni, why did you pick sodalite instead of like lapis?
Perché non prendi
Yeah,
il
I try.
lapis
After.
chiaro?
Is little bit clear.
Lapis è chiaro. Yeah, light.
Is light lapis. Create the violet mixing with beautiful granulation. Apply after. More. Okay. The second line starting to dark so that light. Little point of rhodonite, create this dark violet. Check the difference. Starting predominance of rhodonite. A little point of sodalite. I change in the center the shade. It's too light, more strong, more blue. And half is very beautiful, create mixing violet. Water.
I like this as well. It's not quite amethyst. This has definitely a different properties than amethyst.
Yeah, the amethyst is in this case. I check the difference.
Very nice.
Thank you. Okay, another is particular because I use this blue is this is one of the blue desaturated with white inside. Is King Royal blue and carmine. It's very interesting mixing all together. This selection of more blue is a monopigment.
King Royal.
The King Royal watch, for example, is this very, very beautiful blue. It's very light.
And which blue is that, please?
It's King Royal blue.
Thank you.
Correct.
This is new.
It's new color. And carmine, I use it carefully because it is more strong. And created this very light violet.
This will be really interesting because neither one are transparent. They're both semi-transparent.
Yeah, yeah. And apply more King Royal blue and create this shade. Of the violets. And the predominance. Okay. So blue and carmine.
And I would think that this mixture would look like wisteria and have that kind of soft pinky color because the King's Royal Blue has PW4, which is pigment white. But it doesn't appear like it's going to do that because it's a granulating color, the King Royal Blue.
Yeah, this is wisteria and similar shade, but it's too clear. Very interesting mixing. Okay. Another is very blue and queen coral. The queen coral is one of my favorite red, including in my stick set, because it's very red, central red. It's perfect for primary mixing. And I use in this case with half permad, I try with For example, with my sticks. Okay. When mixing directly on the paper, I prefer use the wet on wet for more easy mixing. Starting Verditer. Beautiful granulation.
This
Which
blue
blue-
also, this blue also has pigment white floor in it too.
Which color blue is it?
It's Verditer blue. And Queen Coral, now I try to take on the sticks. Okay,
King,
Oh.
Verditer.
the
King,
difference.
Verditer.
Okay, apply half and half and mixing. It's very interesting. Violets. And the predominance of Verditer. Pink coral. Little point. And create the center shade. And there we go. For example, this mixing for me is perfect for the sunset because the queen coral is very beautiful red, light red for the very interesting. It's perfect for the sunset sky. Okay, apply the water.
It almost looks lavender.
Yeah, it's
A little more purpley than blue.
yeah. For
Lavender.
example, I try with lavender, for example, and queen coral. I check the difference. It's very light. My power of the light. Okay. Is it more light? Is more white inside in lavender? But this mix is considered one stronger lavender. It's very similar. Okay.
So the lavender has PV15 in it, which is also ultramarine red. And so that definitely looks a lot warmer.
Okay. Another is cerulean blue and pyrrol red. Another interest mixing. in this case, I apply this method. This method used many time in my old job, restoration job. And connecting the color.
Is there any specific reason why you changed the way you put the paint on the paper for this one?
No, it's not specific, but I tried this method many times. But with pyrrol red is important to, for me, for example, I use this method because it's very strong color and created this little violet red, similar to violet brown, for example. I try only this method. I change my method anytime. Okay. Apply the line with predominance of blue. Little point of red. This is interesting mixing because I created this beautiful strange violet. It's similar to gray and brown. Many color, for example, in this selection is perfect for the violet, but another red is changed in the brown line.
I like this mixture because the pyrrol red doesn't granulate and the cerulean does. So now we have some reddish purpley color that now granulates.
For example, in this case, I create a brown with red and blue. No, this is not cerulean, but it's a one of the try the mix. Okay. Another is now I use the one of the strong blue. Is Mayan dark blue and queen pink. Queen pink is one of the most famous pink. It's very beautiful. Queen pink on a small tube of 5 ml.
So is this the primatek Mayan or the synthetic?
Synthetic.
The synthetic, okay.
No, it's primatek. Oh, sorry.
A Mayan Blue o il primatek?
It's primatek. Sorry.
It's the Mayan Blue Genuine, non Mayan Dark Blue, ecco dove ho sbagliato.
No, sorry. Wrong.
Mayan Blue Genuine.
pink.
Because Mayan dark blue is the synthetic, and then
Yeah,
the Mayan blue is primatek.
Sorry for the mistakes.
Oh, no worries. I just needed to know for my own brain.
And queen pink is a very beautiful pink for create this violet. Light.
Is the quin pink light fast?
Yeah,
It's a 2. Level 2.
Twin pink is a number 2, which is very good for 100 years.
Thank you.
correct.
It's my pleasure.
Queen pink. And create this shade. It's very interesting when I apply the half and half and change the sequence because I create a very different shade. It's very, very beautiful. Okay. Another is Prussian blue and permanent red dip. In this case, I use the sticks and a pen.
Looks bright.
Starting on the center. Little point of red.
I'm curious to see how this one dries, being both staining colors.
Absolutely. It's very strong violet. Apply the predominance of blue. And arrive the similar predominance of red. Very interesting difference of shaded violet red. Apply the water. And connecting all together. Okay. It's my last selection. It's very interesting selection. It's phthalo blue red shade. and rose madder permanent. In this case, I try in this piece of sheet the sequence, but half and half quantity. I started with the blue.
Is this rose madder permanent?
Yeah, and apply the madder. And create this shade of violet. I change my sequence, starting with rose madder. And apply the glaze of blue.
Neither one of these are granulated colors, but we're seeing some, you using the cold pressed paper, we're seeing some nice
Soft.
In this case, I use soft paper.
mixes.
Yeah, I check the little difference, but it is very important this for create a different proportion of color. And another mix. In this case, I use the predominance of blue. Little point. Remember. And predominance of rose madder.
We had Kristen Clark say on Facebook, when you mix the colors this way, you get a wonderful subtle variations in which makes it more alive. I agree.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is my last selection. And for example, now with all the color, I try to change the selection and mixing. For example, I take King Royal Blue and Anthraquinoid Red. A little joke.
We call this the shotgun round.
I created these very strong violets. The last is rose madder. White. And soda light. And with a strong violet.
Does anybody on Zoom have a mix combination of these colors that Geo has? But is there mixes that you would like to see?
I do.
Go ahead and unmute and ask.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I can show a couple that I did because I thought I had the color that Geo had and I didn't. So I ended up mixing it with a different one, and I can show these two. It's the cerulean blue, and I thought I had pyrrol red, but I don't. I have pyrrol crimson. So
okay.
so this is what it. Is that good lighting?
Yes.
So, and I did an extra one, and this is the mix from directly in the palette, mixing both colors in the palette. And this is Anna's style that I like, that she does these circles things. And this is another one I don't have. You mixed Prussian blue with another red, and I didn't have it, but I mixed it with Bordeaux, and I thought it was a very lovely purple as well.
Yeah,
This one.
this Bordeaux is a little violet inside in Bordeaux.
Yeah, I know.
Perfect,
So,
perfect.
but I thought I had the colors you mentioned. That this is all the colors I had of the ones you have. But
You're
so they
beautiful.
came out a little different. But these ones are the ones you do. I did have them, so I just followed along. That's all.
Perfect. Then. Thank you. You're beautiful.
What paper were you using, Anna?
Oh, sorry. This is a student grade. This is actually Fabriano Studio. It's I actually bought it at Daniel Smith at the store in Seattle. It's a block they had. I think it's 140. It's student grade.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that's why it's doing these things here.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anna.
Ashley?
Ashley.
Oh wow! Look at that. Beautiful.
Ashley.
Takes me a minute to find the unmute button. I had a few of the colors. I didn't have all of them. So over here, this is the ultramarine and quin red. Love that mix. Cobalt and alizarin, sodalite and rhodonite. And then I actually took some of these over here. I've got the carmine and the King's Royal Blue. Probably my favorite mixture right there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just call this session, how many ways can you make lavender?
Yeah.
And then Mayan dark blue and rhodonite, love that one. And then this is my own. I did not have, I think it was Vertitor. So I used manganese blue hue. So this is quin coral and manganese blue hue.
Wow.
Yes.
Thanks for the blog post title. You'll see it next week. It was perfect. Thank you.
Perfect.
Actually, that's beautiful.
Nice.
Wow,
Thank
Actually, they're beautiful colors.
Yeah.
Thank you. They're so much fun.
Yes.
Caroline.
Is the royal blue a new color?
Sorry?
Is the royal blue a new color that came
Royal
out?
blue, yes.
Oh, okay. It's lovely. The combinations are great. Very nice, Ashley.
Very interesting because King Royal Blue is the saturated blue with the white inside. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Look at her colors. It's beautiful. Yes.
Perfect.
I like the way Ashley's done the variations in the water down with the colours. It helps when you're picking a colour after you've done a mix, what to capture. If you'd like to see what I've been doing, I've been playing while you've all been chatting. Purple's one of those colours that I don't use a lot, but when I need it, I really need it. I need it to be really beautiful because I've selected it to be a feature in my artwork, because I often paint predominantly blues and ocean colors and things like that. So purple and pinks don't fall into my kind of art as often. But using a whole different range of mixtures like Giovanni, I've come up with a little dot card for myself, I suppose, with perylene red, opera pink, madder rose, organic vermilion, and cadmium red medium. And looking at the difference between what is a blue red or on the
Caroline,
pink scale. Yep.
can you touch your screen so it'll focus on your, yeah, just tap on it so it
I
will
think it's the way
focus.
I've got it set up. I've got it set up upside down. So is that better when it's closer?
No, just go back, set it back down, and it should focus. Thank you.
Has that improved it?
We'll see what happens.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll just use my phone because I'm trying to rely on my iPad as well as my phone. So mixing the colors, I found the biggest thing to learn is if you're choosing to try and make a purple, a blue-based red will make you a prettier purple than a yellow-based red. And the yellow-based reds, even though make you some lovely strong maroons, don't actually give you the true violets. You need the blue-based reds to get the violet. So that's one simple way of testing and mixing some of what you have. But what was important to me is using my dot cards. So I did a dot card group. So looking at my dot cards, I have quinacridone rose, quinacridone coral, and perylene scarlet on my dot cards. And I wanted to see how many different variations of violets I could make with these three. And with the blues, I have indanthrone blue, French ultramarine, manganese blue, and cobalt teal blue. And quickly, straight away, I found the cobalt teal blue gave me very little in the style of violets or purples that I was chasing. But the indanthrone, ultramarine, and manganese all gave me beautiful violets when I'm mixing with the quin rose. Quin rose being a pink, it's naturally going to feed into that purple zone very, very quickly, being a pink. But when you look at that beautiful quinacridone coral, which Giovanni and I both adore, we often talk about this colour, you find because it's such a beautiful pure red, it makes the most gorgeous pure colours. It's the brightness comes from that beautiful quinacridone component, and also depending on if the particular colour it's mixed with granulates or not, and what happens whether you get a pure colour or you get a granulated mix. But they all come up really beautifully in the purple and violet zones with the quinacridone coral. And then I tried the perylene scarlet, and because it's a yellow-based red, or we call a warm red, it actually made me a lot of mud. So immediately I went away from the idea that I would mix violets or purples with perylene scarlet. So I think depending on what's in your own palette, my tip is blue-based reds or pinks, as opposed to yellow-based ones. You will get more beautiful, rich violets and purples. So there's my tip for the day.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
Beautiful.
Can you spell the color that started with BER?
With BR?
Yeah, BER. What color was that?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not V for Victor or B?
I think it's Perylene Scarlet, what she's looking at.
Perylene.
Yeah.
Perylene. Perylene. Perylene Scarlet.
It was the speaker, sorry, the speaker mentioned it. He was painting with it. BER something.
Verdita. That
Yeah,
was
how do you spell that?
Giovanni mentioned. Verditter.
Verditter.
Verdita.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the Daniel Smith color line there, so I was wondering.
Okay.
And Sabine.
And Sabine is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I have taken my dot card colors, and so I have mixed with these three blues. The first is the cobalt blue with anthraquinoid scarlet, with that red, and with quina purple. And it gives wonderful colors. And with the anthraquinoid scarlet, it gives a little bit violet gray. I love that color. And the second was with the King's Royal Blue and Quina Pink and Opera Pink. That's, you see, yes, that colors. And the third one is lavender with the anthraquinoid scarlet and quina pink. And I love that area very much. And so I think I get all together and with much water, so you can mix it together and have such fun with water and colors. And I'm just playing around and you see what happened. And on the end, I wonder why when you mixed the red with the blue, sometimes you have a red, it goes a little bit, yes, I think in a cool way with a little bit yellow, so it gets brown when you get when you mixed with blue. And when it's goes the other way to pink, so you become the wonderful violet. And I mix it a little bit together, the reds and the orange, and I just make me my special red palette, I think. Just playing around with colors.
Okay, Sabine,
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Another one, your mixes.
Mark, Belle,
Barbe.
Lori. No.
Okay.
Can the newbie show?
Yeah.
I'm kind of newish to watercolor. I mean, I've been with Daniel Smith for a couple of years now, a few years. But most of my experience has been mixed media and acrylic and abstract, totally abstract, nothing even remotely representational. So it's fun for me for the last few years to be kind of playing around with watercolor. So I had kind of an unusual combination of blues and reds at the ready. And so my little swatching, I started with cobalt blue and organic vermilion over here, and then manganese blue hue and opera pink in the middle, and then iridescent electric blue and iridescent ruby on the end here. And so I got three, really different kinds of colors and three different behaviors as far as this. I was trying to lift and seeing how they lift, and separation was really interesting. You can really see, especially on the iridescent, how it starts to separate as soon as I hit the page. I mixed in the palette, not on the paper, but I did do wet on wet. And then my experiment with each of these colors is just trying to practice with a watercolor brush, which I'm more of a flat brush girl. So I was just kind of practicing with loading the brush and trying to practice with a smaller brush and a larger brush and fine lines and how steady is my hand, and then trying to play with shadowing and lifting to try and create I don't know, more smoother gradations. So I just did these funny little reedy leaves to kind of see, but the 3 colors, I wouldn't classify any of these as purple, but they came out kind of cool. One's kind of dusty and one's kind of earthy and one's kind of bright.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Try to change the sequence. Try to change the sequence.
Well, I mixed in the palette. I didn't mix on the page. So I was pretty much about 60-40 red to blue and then a bunch of water. So I wasn't really focusing on sequence as much, but it was fun. Really fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
I love the
Thank you.
manganese and opera mixture. It kind of reminds me of cobalt violet, but it's a lot stronger.
Yeah, I like that one too,
Yeah.
for sure.
Love it.
It's really bright.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Gabriele?
I just wanted to remind everybody tomorrow we have Rick Anderson doing the demo. Really looking forward to that demo. He has a really cool abstract style. He and all of us were all in Fabiano with a couple of our other good friends. So looking forward to seeing tomorrow's demo with Rick Anderson.
Okay, perfect. Okay, guys. Thank you to all and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you,
Giovanni. Thank you,
Giovanni.
Letizia.
Thank you
Bye,
all.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a nice evening.